All right, guys, welcome back to the Warrior Unfiltered podcast. This is episode 14. We are going to be joined by the four amigos, but we're just waiting on Bill to sort out the Wi-Fi. But we've got Flex, Lewis, and Henry with us. Henry's back. Obviously, we didn't have you last week, but this episode
I
we're
don't
going to
remember
be
where I was.
when you're in like Nottingham or something.
New Forest.
New Forest, that's
New
it.
Forest, that was it. Yeah.
But yeah, this episode we're going to be talking about our collective pet peeves. So I think this one's going to be more entertainment based than educational based. I think if we just delve straight into it, and then we'll just go from there. I think let's begin with our personal favorite pet peeves in the gym. I know, Henry, you said that you've got one.
Does it have to be in the gym or just in the industry as a whole?
Well, I was going to start off with in the gym, or we can just whatever.
It's just the one I've got was just literally about an hour before we come on here. An argument I had on Instagram. And I was sort of like, my pet peeve in the industry is people with no muscle trying to teach you how to grow muscle. Fucking really angers me. So basically, what's happened, right? I'm watching a reel, quite a good reel. I think everyone in here will agree because we all somewhat agree on training. So this guy basically made a reel and said, like, if you've got crap arms, train them every day. So biceps one day, triceps the next, and rotate it at the end of your sessions. That's quite a good way of increasing training volume across the week. Then this guy has commented, yeah, this only works if you're jabbing loads of gear. I was like, okay, so we're starting off poorly here. And I replied, so I just asked a few questions. And then he starts to get like listing all of these things about like how it's too much volume and X, Y, Z. So then I go on this kid's page, right? There is like not an ounce of muscle anywhere. This sort of thing really pisses me off. It's like you've got these internet experts, and I was at a seminar the other day that Callum Ratio was doing, and he said this phrase, and it really like it sums it up. It's like knowledge without mileage is bullshit. Like there's so many people that you've got a million experts on Instagram who know how to look like Ronnie Coleman, but no one does. I think that's probably my biggest pet peeve in the industry at the minute.
Yeah, I saw that. I think he took like a soundbite, didn't he? And he turned it into a reel, Callum.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really good phrase. And it speaks, there's a lot of validity in that as well, because as you say, I mean, everybody can be experts in any field, but you do have to back it up to some extent with evidence yourself.
Yeah.
yeah. And that's what I said to the guy. I said, I
um,
don't want to be rude. Like, I literally said to him, I was like, I've gone on your page, right? I was like, you're not, I was like, in the nicest way possible, you're not in a position to be telling, because the other guy who made the rules, another competitive bodybuilder, to be telling two competitive bodybuilders they're idiots because because of how they train their arms. And then he just started saying, "Your two Jews heads are bumming each other off in comments," and that's how it ended.
it always ends up resulting into just personal attacks.
Yeah.
But before we continue, anybody that's listening on Spotify, Billy has just joined us. Bill, how you doing?
All good, all good.
Yeah,
You're very zoomed in today, bro.
Drop us back a little bit.
it's ominously dark as well there.
Yeah, we're staying at an Airbnb and there's the lighting in here is cack, in all honesty, mate. This is like one of two lights in the whole Airbnb.
Fair enough.
Where are
Yeah.
you, Will?
Where are we? Buntingford.
It's mad posh that.
Did you say buttons for a second?
So yeah, no, it's only 25 minutes from us. We're just away for the weekend, that's all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, mate.
Right. Anybody else got another one? Pet peeve?
People who wear gym shorts.
Billy's
I'll
got
the
time all
loaded.
A pet peeve for me is I'm going to talk competitively, and it's lack of condition, like being brought to shows.
Oh, Bill's gone in deep.
Yeah, we'll go straight in for it. And what really fucking gets me as well is when it's people that are you know, like advising others, as in from like a coaching standpoint, um, like prepping for shows, competitions who have never been, you know, I'm gonna say like legit peeled, like actually like I mean your glutes dug out as much as you possibly can type, um, and then having the audacity to then bring that to a stage is like a big pet peeve of mine, man.
I feel like this one's really emotionally personal for you, Bill. I feel like you've been prepared for this episode your entire life. You've come in with a list and everything. You want to carry on?
Because for me, like like condition is
Bill, just
something.
tell us who it's about. Just tell us who you're
I've got a
Yeah,
indirecting.
list.
we'll just sit and listen. You just chat away for an hour.
Which fat guy beat you, Bill?
For me, like condition, like bringing a good level of condition to stage. That's number one, right? Okay, that's we can all do that. When we're talking about size and we're talking about development, all right, yeah, things are going to be a little bit different. We're all going to be at different points in our potentially in our careers as athletes, as bodybuilders, from a development standpoint. But in terms of condition, like I feel for the most part, like that should be a non-negotiable for anyone looking to step on stage, or anyone that steps on stage to a certain degree. And more often than not, it's a fucking miss.
I think it
Are
goes.
you?
I think if you haven't got a certain level of development, you can't achieve that.
No, no. See, now I'm not. You're
Yeah.
getting. I don't need
No, I
to
know what you
maybe
mean. I
that
just
shit. No, 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 no. Like
Just
I'm
no
talking
fatties
before that, mate.
coaching.
and
But
that's
Bill,
What?
are you
No
gonna?
fatties coaching.
Are you, are you
or no, but
including
going
first
on going
timer?
on from that though, it's like when people like they have that lack of condition. Oh, I was full. But people don't understand to be full, you
Yeah,
have to be shredded. Like
yeah,
that's what fullness is. It's pushing the muscle against the skin to create that pop with that condition. Going on
yeah.
stage soft as fuck is not full.
Yeah, Harry, just I can hear what you're saying there, mate. Yeah, this is different to like I'm not talking specifically first timers because that's going to be a big experience and a learning curve. I'm talking about actual amateur competitive
Or
bodybuilders, mate.
advanced
Yeah.
athletes? Yeah, yeah.
Even first timers though, man, you don't have to be fat.
You still,
No,
yeah,
no,
they
no,
still
yeah, for sure,
that.
for sure. I'm cutting them I'm giving them a little bit of leeway there.
Yeah, cut them a little bit of slack. But no, I agree as well.
Yeah. Like I feel like condition is something that I struggle to see the reason as to why you can't bring whatever the best condition, whatever that looks like for you, but I don't see the reason as to why you're unable to bring that. Like it should be a non-negotiable, and the only reason as to why that hasn't happened is because you haven't pushed yourself hard enough or you haven't worked for it, and that's it.
I
Yeah.
think there's too many expressions and terminologies now where people are using it as an excuse. Where like what you were saying, Lewis, about people just trying to spike their metabolism or this and that, and then that's when refeeds come in, and it's like, oh, I just needed to be a lot fuller. There's always justification for it when I think, as you said, ultimately and fundamentally, bodybuilding is about conditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Any, anybody can grow tissue. I mean, it's not that difficult. I know it's all relative, but anybody can grow muscle tissue.
Yeah,
Whether
like for example, like to put things into context, right? Flex, you was there at the Midlands show when Tom Hem, what's his name?
Tom Hemming was
Tom
there.
Hemming.
Yeah.
Like he's a big fucker. Like he had tissue on me. He had a lot more size than me.
Yeah,
And
he was
every
way bigger than you. Like easy 80 pounds heavier. I'm joking. He was.
yeah, 50 pounds of that was fat. But but he if he was in condition, that show was his for the taking.
I don't think so. No, sorry, I can't. I think you're put together so much nicer. I don't mean that against him. I just think you on that day. I don't see many people who would have beat that. Can you agree, Flex? Because you was there too.
Yeah. 100%.
That was a very hard package to beat.
Mm.
Yeah. 100%. The thing is, though, like for me as well, like where he's concerned, it was quite. I wouldn't say I was biased. It was just, well, I was a bit biased because it's you, but in the same breath, I'd seen him at FitX 2 weeks before, and he was so much better.
Yeah.
So much better at FitX. I don't know, obviously, I don't know what happened. I don't know him well enough. He's a very good bodybuilder. It was just that was yours. I think that was just yours that day, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super
that's my
respect for
opinion.
your class. So I think I was actually sat next to you at the time, weren't I, Henry? We sat and watched Billy's class together,
Yeah, yeah.
and was like yeah, you've got this.
That was done and dusted as soon as they come out, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think as well, Bill, I agree with your point. Especially like even when you look at a first timer show, I'd much respect someone more for coming on stage with probably not enough muscle to compete, but being in shape than someone who's got like a decent build, a good amount of muscle, but just coming in fatty boom boom.
Because you can respect the fucking work ethic that it's taken to get there, mate. That's where I'm coming from. You know that when you look at someone, more often than not, if they're absolutely fucking dialed in terms of condition, I resonate with that, and I think yeah, you've earned your stripes somewhere there, mate, and
think
it takes.
I think also this is where like the judges or whoever is running these federations, this is where they've got that call to authority where they have to come in and they have to govern it. I think there should be that standard level of condition, and if you're not bringing that, you can't step on stage.
Yeah,
Stop
for
just
sure.
fixating on bringing in more money and putting
Yeah,
money in your pocket because it's disrespectful to all the other athletes who have actually put in hard work, and then also it's detrimental to that individual because they are going to be humiliated on social media.
yeah, but yeah, you're rewarding a negative at the end of the
Yeah.
day. I mean, so
It's not, you're not being a dick. You're doing it obviously with the best interest of that individual, but then also the respect of the other athletes, and there should be a standard.
yeah,
yeah,
Otherwise,
and talking on this as well, just to add a little bit of a segue into it, is like when, or another pet peeve is when people will turn up to a show with, condition not being dialed in to where it should be, and then following it up shortly thereafter, once the pictures come out and whatnot, and it's like, they'll say something along the lines of like, oh, like a warm-up show or like, I can't remember what it is, like the main show
80
in 2 weeks' time.
80% ready.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no,
Yeah,
you like don't step on fucking stage unless you are 100% ready or there or thereabouts. Like, it shouldn't be a 20% difference
yeah,
between shows. You know what I mean? Because
The only time I can appreciate that, Bill, is
all
when
right, if you're
you're
getting
doing a regional or
like two
pro
bros,
qualifier with two
yeah,
bros.
yeah,
but I
But it's
think
like people are like,
even
oh,
then
warm
to
up
be like
show.
80% ready,
yeah, you
eight,
should be in
especially
3 weeks.
if you've placed as well. Like I think it's just a point of disrespect to the people you've beat. Like if
yeah,
someone turned around to me and was like, "Oh yeah," like say I placed second to someone, and like they got first. Oh yeah, I was 80% ready. And like if I felt like I'd bought like the condition of my life at that, or the look of like the best look I've had, and someone's like, "Oh yeah, I beat that at 80%." Yeah, like fuck you. It's like a
I've just
respect
thought of
thing.
the best pet peeve. I've just thought of a great one. You know when you see on Instagram someone goes third place today at my show, and you go, oh, it's decent third place, right? And you see the PCA video later of the pose down of their
There's
class.
two
There's only
people in the
three of them.
That's
class.
great.
Yeah, just tell people you come last. Like, stop bullshitting. Or second place today. Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's only two of you. That's still last.
Yeah, top five. Got top five today.
Top
Like
five out of four.
just say you come fourth. Say you come fifth. Whatever. Doesn't have to be top five.
You
Got
get that.
another top three. Top three
Well,
sounds
yeah.
better
Why do
than
people
third.
say top three instead of third? Yeah, like the top three today. We know you didn't come second because you would have said top two, and you didn't
Yeah.
come first because you would have said I won this show. So you come third, didn't you? That's for the top three.
what's you guys stance on um it was talk just PCA for a minute, but on anyone other than first place getting qualification for British.
Money.
Yeah. Do you think anyone other than first place at a regional should qualify for a final?
I think possibly you could argue top 3, but then that's it.
Yeah.
I think it also
I've
needs to be
been
dependent on how many in the class.
I've been in classes before where they've given invites to the finals up until 6th place
Yeah.
in a class of 10 or 11 at a time.
I hate,
My
I
whole
hate
class
when
got
they
an
do it.
invite.
I hate when they do it when it's more out of empathy, when you've got like a class of just 4 and they're like, oh, we're going to give everybody an invite to the finals. You can just blatantly tell that that's just done out of empathy because
Yeah.
But I think the biggest issue you have though is like
One.
I think
is people not
realistically, as
turning
well,
up to the finals.
from an athlete
Sorry.
perspective, if you've got third place at a regional, to then go to the British finals, where you see how big the classes are, to make that leap from third at a regional to ultimately win the British, like you've then got to beat 21st place people, 22nd place people. Like for someone that's got fourth or fifth in an invite, you're just there to be a number. And
Like this
game.
this year from the offset, I'd said to Dan that I was never going to do the British unless I won both classes, and took the overall for both shows that I plan to do this year. And obviously I missed out on the second overall, which was probably my better look of the two. But my point being is that I had in my head that I'm only worthy this year. I only have the quality to step on a British stage if I had have taken back like consecutive overalls. Like that was the benchmark for me. All right, this being my first amateur season as well. But that was my mindset. If I haven't taken 2 overalls, then I've got no standings on a British stage whatsoever. And it turned out that I still done the finals and got fucking 5th place, but still.
Top 5.
Yeah, top five. Love that.
Even that, I felt you were a bit hard done by with that decision.
What a final.
Yeah, like I felt very much like because they left you on the outside,
Yeah.
and there was no. I just thought you were like overlooked slightly, whether like other names were more popular and stuff.
Yep.
You weren't definitely going back to condition. You weren't 5th place on condition. No way.
No.
And maybe size or name beat you in some aspects.
I
I
think
don't know.
I think in terms of condition, like at that point, Will Smart wasn't yet like at 100%. So I think I nipped him just on condition there, and then no one was beating Ricky that day anyway. Ricky was just dialed in perfectly, man.
Matt, you
And
beat on condition.
yeah, and then when it come down to size, Ricky has a bit more maturity than me. He's fucking nearly double my age, and everyone else in that class, like structurally, I was probably the smallest on stage. I would have said, like in terms of actual development, in terms of tissue as well. And one thing that doesn't help is that, like, I only just make it into that medium class on my height, so I was the shortest on stage. Yeah. Whereas those boys are probably on the opposite end of the scale, where they're kind of towards the top end of that height class.
I thought of one as well. So my personal pet peeve, this is something that I've been very passionate about this year in particular, and it's active coaches or posing coaches judging at shows. I think it just shouldn't be allowed at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I know
I think it's only going to be a matter of time before they start like knuckling down on that.
Well, I noticed in particular at the PCA shows that you've got these posing coaches who are also working with some of the coaches themselves.
Yeah.
And they've got either a posing client stepping on stage or a client in and of itself. And I know they've got these rules of, the coach has to step off from the table if they've got an athlete, but I still feel like there's got to be some kind of bias.
Absolutely.
It's not even that. Like at PCA Hall, because I was there, Dan would step off the table when his females were on stage. But the week before, he'd announced, I think it's the anabolic scientist or something like that, that just joined Team DW.
Yeah.
He was still sat at the table.
Yeah. I just mean, like, look, to put it into perspective, if I knew Louis or Dan, Henry, whoever, if one of you had one of your athletes stepping on stage and then you come away from the table, I know there's going to be some level of subjective bias in my judgment because I'm going to consciously be thinking, oh, that's Henry's client. Oh, yeah, they look good. All right, let me compare that person to everybody else.
Yeah.
There's going to be some element of subjective bias. I just think there's a plethora of inactive coaches or other volunteer judges who can take their place. I think if
You think of any other sport or industry where the coach or the athlete would know the ref, the umpire, the judge on like a first name basis. It never happens. Never ever happens. There's a reason for that, to keep things as impartial as possible, right? And for there to be no bias in either direction.
even if there isn't any bias, I just think from the perspective of just kind of eliminating any suspicion.
Yeah, of course.
In the audience, just try and make it as fair as possible. And just, like I said, there's a plethora of other people that can fill the seat.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I think on the counter side to that, if you're an athlete that's worked your ass off for 20 weeks, especially like some of the females, they prep for 24, 26 weeks.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a tight call and it's a tight decision in that top two, and you've just about picked it, for everyone in that room to think, you only got that because of who your coach is, it discredits all of your own hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the decision in that moment is 100% correct, like I'd be fuming if someone come up to me afterwards like, you only got that because your coach is X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, look, I'm not going to hold back, and I know Henry, you was there. The FitX final not last year, the year before that, and
Yeah, there was something fishy there, man.
yeah, you had
Definitely.
head judge. I mean, look, I don't care at this point. You had head judge Lisa judging that, and she had one of her athletes competing. And like, what are you going to do? How do you remove the head judge from the table? There's got to be something fishy about that. And I know, I had one of my athletes. So a lot of people who are watching this or listening, they're going to be thinking, "Oh, I'm just being bitter about the result." It's not. It's not a case of me being bitter or sour or anything like that. It's clearly that there's some kind of controversy there.
yeah, there has to be.
There has to be.
Even at FitX Midlands this year, the overall was decided. The female overall. Obviously, it was the last class of the day. Everyone's cleared off. We'd hung around. I was sat with Dan and whatever. And Lisa and Mike, the winner of the overall, trained at their gym. So Lisa and Mike are having pictures with her and stuff, and they're still officiating. They're still judging. And it's like,
I just think, like, if you've got any association with any competitive athlete, like I said, if you're opposing coach or you're an active coach, you just shouldn't be allowed at the table.
no.
It's just that simple. There's
I
so
think there should be. I said this a while back, but obviously there's a lot of like politics towards business that comes into play with it. Is that PCA, two bros, they all get together under one umbrella in terms of the judges, and there's a select group of judges that go up and down the country doing every two bros, every PCA show, every single weekend, and it's the same set of judges that are not brought in by PCA or two bros specifically, but whether they come under the umbrella of like being an NPC based judge or whatever, but coming from like a third party impartial judge and having that as a panel, but kept across the board, across all federations. If FitX want to get involved as well, then so be it. But yeah, that would be a really cool way to see things kind of move. So it pulls away from the Fed themselves being able to pick and choose who's on panels, and then athletes get no.
It's the same as the 10x thing
bias.
a few years ago. I don't know if
yeah,
you remember that, Harry, when like two
more
bros.
my era, yeah.
Yeah, like if you were sponsored by 10x, you were winning your class
Without a doubt.
shadow of a doubt, and it was bullshit.
Literally, all you had to do was just put 10x in your bio as an ambassador, and that's it. You're guaranteed to win.
Yeah. So
And
it's like
And the thing, again, it's not even us being, we're not speculating or being suspicious. It was just so blatantly obvious.
I know one of my mates, he had a client at one two bro show, and he just went up to the judges after and went, my client should have won that in my opinion. Please, can you explain why they didn't get first? Well, how many classes did they enter? Just the one. Well, the other athlete had done 3 or 4. Maybe next time put your competitor in more classes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Wow. And it's just shit like that. It makes people not want to compete as well, like genuine people.
Yeah, that's part
Yeah.
of the reason as to why I didn't want to do anything too, bro, this year. It's
Yeah.
I just genuinely I don't like the Fed, and I have no qualms in saying that at all. I just don't like them.
I just don't like Justin.
I just don't like the vibe at Two Bros. In all honesty, although it's where it is in terms of the caliber of athletes at the top end, yeah, for sure. But in terms of like enjoyment for amateur guys, if that's what you're doing before you're trying to progress up the ranks, then stay clear.
So that's a pet peeve of mine, actually. People going to two bro shows and competing in two bro shows on that road to pro when they can't even
They
place.
wouldn't. They
No, I'm not
wouldn't.
saying like
Yeah,
PCA. I actually think the standard of PCA is generally better than two bros.
it's
So
more consistent. There's more depth. At a two bro show, you're lucky if you have in a class like one, maybe two athletes where you're like, okay, this is a competitive class. Whereas the depth and the breadth in like a PCA regional, you can sometimes go from like one to fifth, and it could be a pretty close call. That's what I find typically.
yeah,
Yeah, PCA this year in particular, the consistency of the standard at PCA has been absolutely phenomenal in comparison to Two
yeah,
Bros.
Yeah, I think that's a point though. Like the depth of the quality per class, like it's not like at Two Bros you'll have like uh, you'll have like a Phenom just fucking turn up who's guaranteed to be first place, but then at PCA it's like okay, well one to four maybe here is a bit of a toss up. Like that's
yeah.
been quite apparent this year for sure.
But it's just that whole thing of people who really have no place being at a two bro show competing for a pro card or even a qualification for the finals to get a pro card. But you shouldn't be doing it.
If you're talking about if the words pro card come out of your mouth, you best be like 99% sure that it is going to happen because you make yourself look like an absolute cock.
Like, you know who, Henry, who we've been talking about recently in our group chat.
Oh yeah, fucking twat.
We
Well,
were
that's exactly they're saying that. That's exactly what you look like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, they don't mean that horribly. If you've got the physique that looks like you've just like mashed potato that's been hit by a car, you're not getting a pro card.
Yeah, but even then, like there's something attractive about just work, just document your shit, but you don't have to speak it. Doesn't have to be I'm going to get a pro card. Like every single sentence or every bit of documentation that is like documenting your journey doesn't have to be like pro card, pro card, pro card. Like
I think we can all agree the like 99% of the people who actually become pros are the ones who have been approached by other people telling them that they're going to turn pro, not
yeah,
themselves.
yeah, yeah,
They're the ones who are just training because they have so much, adoration and passion for training. And then somebody else come up to them and be like, you're going to turn pro. And they're the ones, majority of the time, who actually turn pro. The ones who are just shouting, screaming at the top of the hilltop, I'm going to, road to pro. You're just delusional. You just want validation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the issue here that then comes with that is right. So put it this way: if I had said road to pro and I put on from where I am now 30, 40 pounds of muscle, and somehow went to like across the space of 5 years, 100 pro qualifiers, and just by sheer luck of the draw, I hit the jackpot at one of them, like just because no other fucker turned up. It's just me on my own. Right, I'm now in the pro ranks. What the fuck happens then?
yeah.
Like, what
Just
happens
give
then?
your
I'm just
card
eating
back.
shit
Give your card
sandwiches
back,
every.
mate. Give it back.
Yeah,
Also,
Whoever party.
what was the statistic that Callum was talking about at the seminar that he done? It was like
it's
100
like less than 1% of people.
globally. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think for anybody that didn't see that, it was something like 100 to 120,000 people competing for pro cards a season, and was it like 800 pro cards additional
Yeah.
season, and that equates to about 0.1% of the
Yeah.
global.
And
or
then
when
you're
you see
thinking
road to
those people
pro
are getting
and they're like
smoked.
Yeah.
road to pro, done it, and it's like GBO pro. I mean, I'll never get there. I'm a shit bodybuilder, but yeah, it's just like GBO Pro. It's like, come on, it's like flaunting your provisional license to your nan at Christmas. Like,
For having a Lego driving license, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now when you get Legoland, you get little fake ones.
so like,
I've got a pro card.
I'm not discrediting anyone that gets it. Like, I'm not at all. And like, if that's like what you want to achieve, and like you're happy, like fair play to anyone that achieves it. End of the day, like we all want to win whatever we do. You enter a show to win it. If you've won your pro card with whatever federation it is, like hats off to you. Like I've got no issue with it. But just understand it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Unless it's Miami Pro, then you can suck a dick because that's so stupid.
That's what I'm doing next year.
No, you're not.
Oh,
You're not doing it.
I
I know you wouldn't do that.
I would pay you to do it.
How much?
Muscle model.
I'll get my suit tailored right now.
Oh yeah, because you have to wear a suit for one of the rounds, didn't you?
Something like that. I think it's one of the categories you do. Yeah.
I remember I went to
Yeah.
I went to one. It's ridiculous. So it's an ex girlfriend that I was with, and she bought me tickets to a Pure Elites show for my birthday. I mean, she just wanted to go for herself because she had a friend competing there. And I remember, apart from it being the worst birthday present ever, there was one category in particular, and I was like, I don't understand how you're supposed to judge this. It was a tattoo category.
What federation is this? I'm just putting it down.
Pure Elite, Pure Elite. I was thinking, what in the hell are you judging here? Who's got what most creative tattoos or the most like?
Wow.
Yeah, that says it all. So yeah, if you're
I've
doing,
got another pet peeve that's sort of similar to this. You know, like when people are saying like they're pro bodybuilders, but they're not really pros. There's another one, right? People who do. How can I put this? Right, people who go and do the PCA British, they come fourth, and then they go and put on their put in their bio or on their caption, fourth in Britain. You're not really fourth in Britain. That's probably like James Hollins' head. You're just fourth at the PCA British Final 2023 in your class. You're not the like. You need to clarify what you're fourth in, not just the
Fourth best bodybuilder in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that a lot after the Worlds as well. Like, whatever in the world.
Fifth best bodybuilder in the world.
I've just thought of another one as well, completely irrelevant to what you said. It's coaches, air quotes, who stand next to somebody else's athlete, take a picture to make it look like it's their athlete when they've just won a show.
Oh, you can't be doing that, man. Who's doing that? We've got to out some names
Hey,
here.
I stood next to you, Bill.
Oh, but it depends on what you're putting in the caption. The amount of times where it's like, oh, so proud of so and so. Obviously, they're being really, really clever with how they're wording the caption.
Really ambiguous, yeah.
Yeah, it would be something, where they're being.
Oh, Harry, we did that, didn't we? One in our group chat.
So yeah, it's just, that really annoys me in particular. It's like, look, if it's not one of your athletes who stepped on stage and they've come, top three,
Fuck off.
yeah. If you want to put a picture, just make it very explicit in the caption that it's one of your friends, or put a disclaimer, not my athlete.
Oh, I've got no.
You've seen my mum at my next show now putting that in her bio. Like, not my athlete, my son. Mum's poaching clients.
What's yours, Bill?
A pet peeve, just moving away from like stage competitive side now, is clients, like they'll put up, whether it's their own progress pictures or a transformation post or whatever it is, but the lack of what's the word? The lack of
Difference?
No, the lack of appreciation towards the coach. Like not like they might put up a transformation post and be like, oh, this is my progress in X amount of time to X amount of time, and there'll be nothing mentioned about the coach who has helped them get there. And that that ruffles me a little bit, and I completely understand it, but I'm not wired like that. I'm very much like, yeah, just
Yeah,
mum.
I can relate here. I think obviously some people they like to keep most of their stuff private on social media, but
Absolutely.
I do feel like there needs to be some element of, that credit and respect to the coach that you're working with.
See, I've got two that go off the back of that though. It's when a coach posts a transformation of last show to next show, and like they've done well with this client at this most recent show, but they forget to say they didn't get from that point to that point. They interjected there, and they
Yeah.
just did the last 3 months' work or whatever.
Yeah.
And you get that mad transformation of like, oh, a 5 year difference of my client. Well, you've only coached them for 6 months.
Yeah.
Or when someone posts their own transformation picture where they've been coached by someone else, and they're like, I'm now the online coach. Look what I've done.
Yeah, that stems really from
Yeah.
from what I'm.
I think it's also the same with, within the active season where you might have a client leave you for whatever reason and then join another coach, and like 80% of the prep has been done with the first coach,
Yeah.
and the second coach is taking all the credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah.
think you don't even
Essentially,
have to give the other person the center of stage. It's just put that disclaimer. This point to this point wasn't done by me.
yeah.
Oh, I've got one done that to me, and I will name and shame him because of fucking.
Oh, what a poor time to cut
When
out.
I first, yeah,
You're back.
I'm back.
You're
I'm
back.
back.
Start again.
So basically, when I first started coaching, right, I was new to coaching. I had this guy for like 10 weeks. Pretty good transformation. He leaves, goes to another coach. I'll name who it is once it's done. And then 2 weeks after being with that coach, he wins that coach's 10-week transformation challenge that he's running with his other clients. But he knows the coach in person. So obviously what this coach has done is said, I don't want to give a prize to someone else who's paid for the transformation
So
challenge.
bad.
It was Stephen Physique, that
Yeah,
the
that
guy
was
who can't ever
bad.
get in shape. That
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah.
And and you know, he even put a story up. So basically, I was coaching this guy, and his weight loss stalled, and then he went to Steve, and then Steve put up a story a week in. He was like, "This guy's lost 5 pounds. He had a coach before, but then he's come to basically making out that he's a better coach, right?" Then I spoke to this guy because I'm actually friends with the guy as well. What did he change when he joined you? He basically said he wrote up your meal plan, put it onto his own meal plan, and just doubled the cleanse and T3 that he was on. Of course, you're going to lose 5 pounds, then you've just doubled the fucking fat loss drugs. And you put a story up
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
buddy.
what magic have I done? You've copy and pasted my meal plan and doubled the drugs."
I
Yeah.
had
Get 5 pounds off other people, can't do it himself.
I had that at the start of this season, didn't I, Henry? I remember I told you where I had one athlete and basically, long story short, it got to a point where he was like, "Oh, look, I'm just gonna part ways with you. I'm not working with you anymore." So I just asked him, just out of kindness, like, could you just let me know what's the reason? And he said that I had been making all these changes because he was dropping weight, he was getting in shape, and he's like, I had been making all these changes myself because I felt like I wasn't doing enough, but you weren't making any changes. And I was like, well, obviously, because if your body's dropping and you're getting in condition, why am I going to change anything? But you're the one that was changing it. I mean, if you didn't change anything, I would have probably noticed that nothing's changing and therefore made the change.
Yeah.
But somehow
God's
that's
sake, I'm getting lean, mate. Why are you not making me get lean quicker? Come on.
it was just one of those ones where he wanted the entire kitchen sink thrown at him. He wanted all the drugs thrown out, all the training volume being ramped up. It's just like, well, like I said, I'm week on week, I'm seeing a nice steady like 1.5 pound rate of loss. So why am I going to change anything?
I bet you were rubbing your hands together with the fucking genetics that client had.
I was just thinking, well,
Days.
I was thinking this is the smoothest prep I've ever had with any athlete.
Drop
And then he
20
told
pounds on
me,
4,000 calories.
yeah, he was like, oh yeah, I was just I'm taking calories out myself, and I was upping my steps because I just felt like I wasn't doing enough. And I'm like, well, that's clearly the reason why I didn't make any changes.
Yeah.
It was still somehow my fault in the end, but people just don't want to take responsibility.
People are crazy.
So, pet peeve. like, and I'm going to say it comes more from the natty side, but this badge of I'm natty.
Yeah,
I did
tell you
this
what, these
without drugs.
MBW jumpers need to fuck off as well because they're annoying. Like,
Oh, I want to just make a caveat here as well. If you have taken clenbuterol, you are not natural anymore. The
Yeah, but
amount
that'll
of
be like us lot buying jumpers that say we don't take cocaine. Like, okay, cool, bro. Like, doesn't matter. It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
But it's like it's
yeah,
almost like they don't understand. Like, oh, I got shredded. Well, I didn't need lipolytics.
yeah,
Like,
oh,
do you know what? All you have to do is more cardio and eat less. It's
yeah,
as simple as that. Put lipolytics in it. You still have to do more cardio. You still have to eat less. But we now have an extra 5 variables that we have to manage in sort of simultaneously to make sure we can still reach that same point.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be a shorter time frame, or you can do less cardio and more food because of the lipolytics and whatever else is in play. But more variables mean more can go wrong. So technically, it's as hard, if not harder. And it's just this whole,
Probably
oh,
don't weigh 60 kilos on stage as
you
well.
use steroids, so you're cheating. Like, fuck off. It's not cheating because we're all doing it. Like, bore off.
it's cheating if you're assisted and you're stepping into a natural federation. That's only where it's cheating.
Yeah.
If everybody's doing it, how does that make it cheating?
Or I'm natty. What birth control do you use? Progesterone only. Spot on. Hormone replacement at its finest.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Any more?
Uh,
I've got some some stereotypical ones in the gym.
Shadow boxing.
Yep, that was on the top of my list. Shadow boxing in between every fucking set that you do.
who's still shadow boxing on the gym floor, man? Like, it's nearly 2024. Right,
The
I've never.
best bit that gets me is none of these people actually box.
Yeah, yeah.
It's either you got the shadow boxing or you've got the golfer practicing his swing.
We don't get golfers in the back. We just get golfers in the
I
back.
can't comprehend how you put the two and two together. You get somebody do a leg extension and then they get up and they start practicing the swing. Like, where does that link?
Just displaying your middle class. That don't happen in Birmingham. Oh,
Or
God.
another one, if you're operating any exercise machine and you're fucking on your phone, scrolling through Instagram, or I've seen even worse, playing a game of solitaire.
No, I've got better than that.
What?
This was actually in the middle of a set once. So I'm in a set and I can see or I'm warming up or something like that. I'm sitting on a machine and I can see this guy in the middle of like a set on the shoulder press and he's just looking down at the floor and I'm thinking, oh, that's weird. Like
He's watching the football, isn't
his head hasn't moved like that whole time. I'm thinking maybe he's just like set up in that position. Anyway, he then stops his set and he like leans over a little bit more towards it. So I get up and have a look around the corner, around like a beam or whatever it was, and he's got like his phone sitting up, like laying down on the floor, like up at an angle, and he was watching. It was like Arsenal Spurs or something like that in
he?
the
I
gym.
knew it was going to be that.
I was
I
like,
see that all the time.
hell, man.
I've seen that even during like a leg press. They'll be sitting there with the phone like that
Yeah,
on the leg press.
that's when they're filming the sets.
Oh yeah. Oh
What are
god.
you doing? Get off.
Oh
I had one.
Just go to the gym after the game's finished, surely.
yeah.
I had one the other day. It was I think like a couple of weeks back, and I mean, bless him. He was a young kid, and he was on the leg extension, and I was waiting around for a little bit, and I thought I'll give him like 5 minutes, and I'll just jump in and just ask him nicely, is it all right if I jump in, or how many sets have you got? He was reading an article. He had some kind of, I don't know if it was an audio book thing or an article or something. He's reading something. And then I jumped in. I said, like, oh, how many sets have you got left? Is it right if I jump in? I'm just waiting. He was like, oh, yeah.
I've got 12 pages left, mate.
It's one of those ones. Oh, I've just started. That's
Yeah,
the first thing I asked you.
yeah,
The question was, how many sets have you got left? Not
yeah.
having to
They,
start.
they normally do that.
And
They
then
look at the machine as if the machine's going to say, "You've got 2 sets left, mate."
he then had the audacity just to continue. I went, all right, then if you're you just started, you've got a couple more sets. I went, is it right if I jump in? He'd be like, I'll be done in a minute.
No, no.
Go back on the phone. But
No.
I didn't know what to say because the kid must have been 13, 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've lost Henry. We'll just carry on about it.
Another one, like Dorian did it because Ronnie did it. When someone like, why have you done that? What, like when a client sends you a video, like why are you doing it like that? Or when someone's just general logic for performing an exercise like a complete Mongol is,
Yeah.
oh, Dorian did it. Well, you're not Dorian. You're
Who,
not.
who has the fucking bollocks to say that as well? Like, because Dorian did it. Like, what world are you in, mate? Do you think you are anything like a, a pubic hair's width in similarity to Dorian? Of course you're fucking not. Like,
Ronnie Corbett.
Ronnie Corbett, yeah, yeah. Fucking hell,
Yeah,
honestly.
I think that's what ties in with the one I put about this diverse community of opinions, kind of like compartmentalizing into just two groups. There's no middle ground. There's no gray area. It's always just
Yeah.
white. It's either you're old school or you're new school. That's it. It's
Yeah,
either you train this way or you train that way. It's like, why can't we come together and integrate both old school, new school, literature, non-literature, practical application? Why can't we always just come together with opinions? It's more the case of it's always like, you look at the general debates, fasted cardio, fasted versus fed state cardio. And there might be a case or an argument where, okay, it could be beneficial in this scenario, but then it's not beneficial in that scenario.
mm.
Whereas instead, it's just straight up, no, fasted cardio is better and the best, and that's it. End of
Or
story.
I'm doing fasted cardio, and my coach told me just to drink some EAAs whilst I'm doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but do you know, it's normally like you see like top Olympians doing that shit. Like
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's still a thing though, where
I know for
people.
a fact like Keon does that. Like Patrick gets Keon doing that, and it just what?
Mm.
Yeah,
Gotta maximize that protein synthesis.
yeah. What was
So,
he
talk about
talking
watching pro.
about?
I'm gonna say something now, and it pisses me out. Like it just grinds me when I see people do it. And you saying about sitting Keon do it. I watched a video and Nathan Diasha was doing it yesterday. People that leg press with their hands on their knees.
Oh, I've seen Nathan do that before. It makes my toes cold. I don't know
You know,
why.
Nathan Diasha can do what he likes. He's Nathan
Oh yeah,
Diasha.
of course you can. Of course you can.
But
But
anyone else?
But that
talking
doesn't
body,
mean you can then go around and say, "Well, Nathan done it."
yeah,
But like that's what I mean.
Because someone like Nathan can do anything. He's going to be better than everyone.
he
Yeah.
also took a fucking year off and put how much fucking body fat on and still
Those
look.
people in this world are an anomaly. They are an exception. They are the minority. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do. End of story.
Remember that phase when people were like having their mates hold them down into a leg press?
Oh yeah, in case they
Their
catapult.
natties were doing that. Natties do weird stuff in the gym, man.
It's the AJ special, the AJ tea bag.
Nowadays it takes 5 people to complete a set on the leg press.
Yeah, you've got to have two spotters either side. You've got to have one person there sipping on some EAAs and clostridextrin, giving that to you intra set, and then someone making sure that you don't catapult across the gym.
So there was that one phase where people would like the film, the cycle for a set was longer than the actual set itself. And it was the AJ group. I can't remember who it was. And one of them was like, he got so psyched up, he started crying pre-hack set.
Interesting.
I was going to say it wasn't Corbin, was it?
I think it was. Because I think there was like a meme going around of him and like the Johnson's Baby No More Tears shampoo as well.
Oh,
Like, it was like crying pre-set because that's how you got. And I'm like, you've just expended so much energy. Like, what the fuck was the point in that?
Refeed.
This is just turning into the Hate Natty show.
oh,
We do actually love you, Natties.
we don't.
All right,
Unless
Bill does.
we coach you.
So basically, what you're saying, Bill, is unless they're putting money in your pocket, you hate them.
100%, yeah.
So I lagged out for a while then.
We're going to be cancelled, and we're going to be banned from every single federation in 2024. There's just going to be these wanted posters around just saying just fuck you for.
We're going to be held for ransom by AJ and his missus. So that's us now.
That I cut out for a while. Who cried?
Me and
Pre-chat.
both it was
Jack
Jack
Forward.
Forward.
I like Jack.
I do
Yeah,
like
but still.
I do like Jack,
Right.
and me and Jack do go way back, and I will speak to him. I don't know if he will listen or watch this, but there's nothing against him. But I do believe sometimes, I think this is generalizing as well, some people take their psyche to the extreme when it comes to that mental
Sure, I'm all
upset.
for tapping into a dark place. It's when something's for the purpose of social media.
Yeah,
Like that's my pet peeve. It's like if like you want to do something and you want to do it on a daily basis, then cool. If you're doing something solely for the purpose of social media, it's no different from, you know, a girl fucking putting a muff cutter on a fucking Instagram just for like likes. Do you know what I mean?
it's like
This is why I can
Oh, you got to start in and out, geez. Jesus.
we're gonna start calling him Ben Chow.
for
He's
social
Ben
media.
Chow, the bro chat group.
You cut out them.
Oh, so
Oh my!
Henry, stop paying for aircon and start paying
that's
for
what he does.
Wi-Fi.
Is it that bad? Do I keep cutting out? It's every.
Oh.
Anyway, while he's sorting it out,
Yeah.
what was I going to say? He's made me forget now. I can't remember. My mind's gone blank. Someone else come in. He'll come back to me. Anyone? Well, we're still waiting for Henry.
Going
we
back
were-
off topic a bit.
We were talking.
Pet peeve is
Yeah, go on.
people like it's such a like an overspoke topic. Probably it's like it's that whole thing of what gear do you take. It's never what do you eat, never what do you train, how do you train. It's what gear do you take, and the fact that everyone thinks Tren is this magical potion that's going to change your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it, but
I think you can go one step further and say that it's expanded and it's got to the point where people are justifying every single compound. Everybody's got their own subjective bias towards one particular compound, and they swear by it like it's some magical potion that's going to just revolutionize their physique.
yeah, oh, he's back.
I get it. I get it with people with growth hormone. I get people with insulin, tren, all sorts.
Yeah,
Should we wrap it up there? Because I feel like we've lost Henry now, and he's definitely not coming back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get cancelled.
We're coming up to an hour and a half anyway. So we
Yeah.
leave it there.
Yeah, I'm happy to, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, been good.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in. Episode 14, Our Pet Peeves. Hopefully we don't get cancelled. I mean, at the end of the day, I think to put a disclaimer out there, to summarize, collectively, we don't mean any disrespect to everybody. It's just our opinions. We're having a little bit of banter. So don't take it too personally. And if you do, then you're a wet wipe.
Anything is subjective.
Yeah. Go tell somebody that does care.
It's not watching a podcast. Easy.
Yeah. As always, don't forget to show your support if you're listening on Spotify by giving us a 5-star rating, dropping a review. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a follow, like, subscribe, all that jazz. And obviously a shout out to our sponsors, Your Protein Midlands. This time we're going to be using my codes. Bill, you've had to. So don't be too greedy. Use discount code TBW10. Obviously, save yourself some money on all of your orders. And we'll catch you all next week.
Sound.
Nice one. Catch you later.
Adios.